Very well, ladies and gentlemen. So we begin the episode today a little bit excited and, of course, a little bit better in terms of health is concerned. So, lots of news about Arsenal sending out a bid and Fiorentina are close to accepting or something like that, or something that is actually coming on in the newspapers, the Corriere dello Sport. Of course, we're going to talk about that and everything, but stay tuned for that. And of course, Aubameyang has heart issues. We're going to talk about that. So, Fiorentina are close to accepting a £58 million offer from Arsenal for prolific striker Dusan Vlahovic, according to Ekrem Konur. So, Ekrem Konur believes that Arsenal are definitely going to put in a £58 million bid for Dusan, and and Fiorentina are going to say yes to that. So, we'll see about that. We're also going to talk about Simplico. Before getting into everything, let's talk about Aubameyang for now. So Gabonese head coach says, we just came to know that Aubameyang just did a PCR test, came negative, but he had shown symptoms in the cardiac test that his heart has been affected by that. So first of all, I know that this does not mean much because of the virus, we have some complications developed post it in the heart, and of course the lungs, some scarring or something like that will definitely work on that system. So Gabonese head coach says in the readings it's clear that Aubameyang has no cardiac problems. He and Lemina passed PCR tests and they were negative. Then they did the second lot of exams, cardiac tests, and it seemed as though the pair of them had problems. Alright. Okay, if they had problems, well, let's talk about it later. We already mentioned that Republica IT that Arsenal have offered 70 million euros for Vlahovic. Fiorentina president is ready to let the player go. But the big question is, will the player leave? If he's not signing a new deal, what is the implications to that? Anyways, that's not my cause of concern. Arsenal, according to Raisa Simplicio, Arsenal have made an informal inquiry regarding Diego Costa's situation. So far, however, there is no official proposal from Arsenal for the player. How do Arsenal trying to convince Dusan Vlahovic coming to Arsenal, and from there they're linked with Diego Costa? Sometimes I believe that why am I getting in the mood of covering literally every news that's there on the internet. I hate that. I hate that thing about myself. Like, I actually try to find every news that is there and try to bring it to you guys. Sometimes they make zero sense, but whatever. Ramsdale on Arteta says, unlike a lot of managers, Mikel was a top-class player recently, and this helps him communicate and understand a player's needs more than some. All right. That's one thing that I'd really accept it. The Times have reported that Arsenal have 14 players unavailable, 1-4, and could lose a further 3 due to injuries after the game against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup semi-final, and that's the big reason why Arsenal have asked the Premier League to postpone their North London derby game. We'll see about that, how things will develop. But also, Athletic report that Arsenal doctors have spoken to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Have spoken to Gabon's medics and have been reassured that Aubameyang is feeling well and the situation is not serious. So if you're worried as an Arsenal fan, there's nothing much to be worried about. Moving on, Gary Neville. There's certain things that I hate about Gary Neville, and this is definitely one of them. So he says, Balogun's gone on loan, Maitland-Niles has gone on loan, Xhaka's got a red card. That's not the fault of anybody else. If it was purely down to the virus and extraordinary circumstances, then where there are 15 or 10 to 15 players out, it would be acceptable. It's got to stop. That's not a dig at Arsenal. I should have spoken 3 or 4 weeks ago. Manchester United, other teams have got 30-40 players in their squad. I'm not having they can't get 14, 15 or 16 players together, and so for me it should be rejected. Yeah, Gary Neville. It should have been rejected for Manchester United. It should have been rejected for every other club. Leicester City. It should have been rejected. Burnley. Burnley's game has been rejected. Has been cancelled. It should have been rejected for Tottenham as well. It should have been rejected for Liverpool as well. It should have been rejected for everyone. But why is he talking right now when Arsenal has for the first time asked for its postponement? Gary, stop it, bro. Stop it. Talk about everyone. You specifically mentioned that that's not a dig at Arsenal, but it is, bro. It is. So stop with this. Stop with this. Well, also we spoke about how Sammy Mokbel says that the news of Arsenal's request to postpone the game on Sunday has triggered anger at Tottenham, who are concerned that their arch rivals are using the rules to have the game called off because their best players are not available. I just want to say one thing that nobody gives an F about what Antonio Conte thinks anymore. So move on with it. Antonio Conte and Arsenal says they've started to work and build something important. They had more time than us, and Arteta had the possibility to work with the players for a couple of years and also get in the transfer market. I think they're doing a good job in this moment. Maybe for this reason they're ahead in the project than us, because they started earlier with the same coach. Now they're having good results. Arsenal is a really good team. Whatever. Moving on, let's talk about more stuff. Let's talk about some cool stuff. Now, Sky Kave Solikol, who spoke about Takehiro Tomiyasu, being a centre back or something like that. So, on Wijnaldum, he says, I'm still pretty convinced he wants to return to the Premier League, and I'm pretty convinced he would want to play for Arsenal. Arsenal would be very high up on the list of clubs that he would like to play for. Nobody gives an F, especially when Kave Solikol opens his mouth. Nobody gives a fuck. Mikel Arteta on Benjamin White, he says he's not Tony Adams and he cannot be Tony. He's just moved to our club and he's been here for a few months, but he has something and he wants to do it. He's very demanding with himself. He's really willing to learn and improve his game, and he's in the right place. Talking about Benjamin White's partnership with Gabriel, he says those personalities as well, that chemistry has to exist. We can see they really enjoy playing each together. You can see that chemistry is there, and that's a massive extra when you are looking to build something at the back. Talking about Arsenal being 10-man and they somehow got a draw against Liverpool, he says I saw a lot of leadership on that pitch from very young players, and that gives me a lot of encouragement because they understood that what was needed, were up for the challenge and showed real fight. Oh yes, it was a dog fight. It was a dog fight, and I love my team for that. Moving on, so there's some contradictory reports from Viola News. They say that Dusan Vlahovic's agent does not even sit at the table to listen to offers. Arsenal seem the most determined club to buy Vlahovic. Fiorentina are willing to sell the striker in the next 2 weeks. But talking about Arthur, Merco Di Natale says contacts between Arsenal and Juve will continue next week for Arthur Melo. Player has agreed to join, but Juve are not convinced of sending him for a 6-month loan and must also find a replacement. However, let's address the elephant in the room. So this is the newspaper Corriere dello Sport. Now they have a big news talking about Vlahovic and Rocco Commisso. So Dusan Vlahovic's agent no longer discusses or talks to Fiorentina. Fiorentina would sell him immediately, but Vlahovic's aim is to leave for free when his contract ends. Let's move on with this, man. Like seriously, let's just whatever. So let me know what you guys think about it. Contrast reports coming for Dusan Vlahovic, but more importantly, a couple of reports say that Arsenal are going to bid right now 70 million euros or 58 million pounds, and that they believe that Fiorentina will accept it no matter what. So let's see how that will turn out to be. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, cheers, and don't forget to subscribe.